Hey guys, it's YXBA here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm trying something new. I'm hoping that by doing videos this way, I will be able to reach out to you more often, give more of my insights and opinions and speculation, and basically make things a lot easier on everybody. So. Today I want to talk about a question that a lot of people have had, and that is, will the NX, or rather, will the Nintendo Switch be backwards compatible with the 3DS or with the Wii U? And the answer, I think, was obvious even before Nintendo made that information clear. We knew that no matter what direction Nintendo was going to take, whether they were going to go with the Eurogamer Emily Rogers system or whether they were going to go with the Super Metal Dave 64 concept, or both, that it would be very unlikely to have out of the box backwards compatibility because the architecture that they used on the Wii U was quite different than either of those options. And we also knew that it was highly likely that the NX, now the Nintendo Switch, would use cartridges. So I just don't see why there's all this outrage out there on the internet, or why there's so many articles about it, and that people are surprised by this. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Eventually, you have to go in a new direction. And the fact is that Nintendo was being hampered and really held back by the architecture that they used in the past because, and the reason why they were held back is they wanted to maintain the backwards compatibility. The GameCube, the GameCube was a new architecture, and of course, it didn't have backwards compatibility with the N64 or Super Nintendo before it. And, people, I think, understood that. Then after the GameCube, the Wii came out, and it was awesome that it had virtually the same architecture as the GameCube, just with a little bit more power. So they were able to do the backwards compatibility. And then from there, they went to the Wii U, which again had some similarities in the architecture, especially with the CPU. But that ended up actually hampering the system significantly. Because they wanted to maintain that compatibility, it really held back how cutting edge the CPU could actually be. So and that ended up being one of the biggest complaints, other than the poor APIs and tools on the Wii U. The biggest complaint developers had was how weak the CPU was on the Wii U and how out of date it was. So, eventually you have to make a change, and what better a time to make a change than when you're coming off your worst selling handheld system of all time and your worst selling console system of all time. Now, don't get me wrong, I think these are great systems, and the 3DS has actually done really well in the marketplace. It just hasn't quite sold as well as some of the previous handheld systems that Nintendo has come out with. I think mostly due to um, the mobile market reaching a very high critical mass and less people feeling the need to have a portable in their pocket gaming device to take with them on the go. So yeah, that's basically the gist of this video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about, why I think it's not a big deal and it's actually a good thing that the Switch is not going to be backwards compatible, because it would have hampered the system in the same way that the Wii U was hampered and the Wii was hampered by the backwards compatibility as well. So, the other thing is that with today's modern technology, um, a lot of the traditional Nintendo games from the past will be able to be emulated on the NX system. They're going to have no problems whatsoever with a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and N64 games. And even your GameCube games and potentially Wii games, I think they could emulate those games if they really, really put some effort into it. It's going to be more of a challenge with the Wii U because typically when you're emulating, you need a lot more power than was originally needed without the emulation. And it looks like um, the Switch is probably, you know, 3 to 4 times as powerful as the Wii U, give or take. We don't have final specs, but that's going to present a challenge. But what they're doing instead is porting key Wii U games over to the Switch, like Zelda Breath of the Wild, like Mario Kart 8, like Splatoon, and at some point there will be other ports. I wouldn't be surprised if New Super Mario Brothers, Mario 3D World, Smash Brothers. We'll just have to wait and see. So I don't think it's that big a deal because there weren't hundreds of key games on the Wii U because they had to cut the life cycle short to focus on the Nintendo Switch. And I agree that for many of us who have purchased those games, it can be a little bit of a disappointment that we might have to repurchase those titles. And I'm really hoping that Nintendo does the right thing and makes it so that if you purchased digital versions of Wii U games that are being ported to the Switch, that you will get massive discounts for the ported version. And if you have bought the physical version, Nintendo games do tend to hold their value quite well. So the option exists if you're not a hardcore collector that you could resell those games and have at least a chunk of money to put towards the ported version on the Switch. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like. And if you want to hear more from me, please subscribe.